So during the Resident Evil franchise, we've encountered some very iconic antagonists throughout the years, with one very prominent villain who appeared in several Resident Evil games, which this individual was none other than Albert Wesker, the traitor of the STARS unit in Resident Evil 1, the recurring antagonist in Resident Evil Code Veronica, and the superhuman being in Resident Evil 5. But as profound as Albert Wesker was in this franchise, there was another Wesker who was looming in the darkness, hatching her own diabolical plan to achieve godhood that Albert always sought after, which this character would be Alex Wesker from Resident Evil Revelations 2.
She's so scary. I can't stand her.
Who? The woman here with Wesker?
That is Wesker. Alex Wesker.
Two Weskers? You gotta be shitting me.
So for many RE fans out there, a second Wesker in the series seemed absurd, because all this time, we always thought that Albert was the sole Wesker antagonist that we'll see in this franchise, which this would have been the case until we see her debut in RE Revelations 2, where she would have the main spotlight as the main antagonist, and giving us another perspective on how demented a Wesker truly is. Which in this video, we'll do a quick synopsis of the overall plot in Revelations 2, what Alex Wesker's role was in the game, and what was her main motive, and we'll even dabble back into her origins and how that would shape her current goal in the game. Anyways, before we do get started with this video, I just want to say my name's DeVuH, and I do cover a lot of Resident Evil and other gaming media out there. So if you guys do enjoy these types of content, then please feel free to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future, and possibly adding me both on Instagram and on Twitter, where you guys can message me there personally at any time. So let's go ahead and start this video off with Alex Wesker's origins, which was the founding of the Wesker Project. So like Albert, Alex was also part of the eugenics program created by Oswell E. Spencer, who is one of the co-founders of the Umbrella Corporation, with this program being named Project W, hence from the partnership of Spencer and another individual by the name of Dr. Wesker, which their vision was to create an advanced breed of human beings, with the end result of a utopian society, while having Oswell E. Spencer ruling over said population, hence being the god of this new world.
For one who has the right to be a god.
But in order to achieve this goal, Spencer had to aggregate many candidates for Project W. And in order to do so, he would selectively choose children who had parents of at least an above average IQ level, or finding some significance with the said parents, which in the end would have him attain and adopt many children for Project W, regardless of his legalities, ethics, or morality. But as the story goes on, Project W was established, having many children raised under the culture of intelligence, excellence, and grooming them to achieve their highest potential, which also each child acquiring the last name of Wesker due to this project as well. But as we go through the years, Spencer was able to narrow down the best of the Wesker children, 13 individuals to be exact, as with these 13 candidates, they showed the most potential to help Spencer achieve his goal of eugenics. Though showing much potential, the 13 candidates would be inoculated with an experimental strain of the progenitor virus, which in doing so would dwindle down the crop of 13 individuals to just 2 candidates left alive, which would be both Albert and Alex Wesker, with both individuals becoming highly intelligent virologists within the Umbrella Corporation, seeking power within the company and internalizing the process of achieving a utopian society in their own twisted way. And as history stands, we see Albert Wesker throughout the series, being one of the main recurring antagonists of this franchise, and his views on the world was to destroy it by releasing the Ouroboros virus, and those who would survive it would be part of his New World plan, with him being the god of this new world, exactly like Oswell E. Spencer's vision for himself.
The right to be a god. That right is now mine.
And also due to the experimental dose of the viral strain that Albert received, he would possess superhuman abilities, which was highlighted in Resident Evil 5. But unlike Albert, Alex Wesker did not achieve the superhuman feats that her Project W sibling attained. Instead, she did not show any superhuman capabilities at all, and to make things worse for her, she finds out that she has a terminal disease that would eventually take her life. Well, with these cards being dealt to her, she had to devise a plan to circumvent her situation, while also following her goal of eugenics and godhood that both Albert Wesker and Oswell E. Spencer had envisioned. So in order to start this process, she would need to find herself a location that would allow her to research more into the T virus and Ouroboros. And after finding said location, she would then need a sufficient amount of candidates that she can use for her experiments to finally achieve a viral strain that would help her circumvent her dying prognosis. Well, to her credit, she was able to find a viable location while at the same time having enough of a population to experiment on, with this location being known as Same Island, a settlement previously owned by the Soviet Union.
Oh God. What is this place?
With most of its citizens stricken with poverty due to the lack of resource and economic distribution, which this fact would be perfect for Alex Wesker to easily move into the island, being seen as a savior in some instances due to her bringing economic relief to the area by hiring a good amount of people to work into establishing her new research facility on the island. She would even have them work in the mines of the islands as well, but unbeknownst to them, she would kidnap individuals here and there for her experiments, trying to cultivate a strain that would help her achieve godhood. So with this in play, eventually Alex Wesker would achieve creating a new viral strain, which was known as the T. phobos virus, a variant of the progenitor virus who allowed the affected host to have superhuman abilities. But the problem with the T. phobos virus, it needed to be dormant within the host for a certain amount of time due to it working in conjunction with the naturally occurring hormone norepinephrine in the human body, which in essence is supposed to help individuals in times of high stress, increasing the heart rate, blood pressure, awareness, and the overall fight or flight experience. Which this attribute of stress, more so fear, would be the catalyst that would cause individuals infected with a T. phobos virus to mutate, becoming horrid monsters that we would have to fight in Revelations 2.
Pedro?
See how his bracelet changes to the color of fear.
Claire! I've got you!
It means he's not the one.
Though even with this downside, Alex Wesker did see the benefits to the virus, because she's concluded that if she could find a candidate that would not be prone to fear, then this individual, after being infected with the T. phobos virus, would be granted superhuman abilities. But in Alex Wesker's case, why would she go through the trouble of doing research and finding the perfect individual for the T. phobos virus? And how was this supposed to help her stay alive to become the god of the new world? Well, to answer that question, she doesn't intend to stay alive, not at least within her current body, because her way of circumventing death was to digitize her consciousness and transplant it into another host. So with that said, the perfect host would be the one who does not suffer fear, so that when that host would be inoculated with a T. phobos virus, they would not mutate like most of the other candidates. So with this in mind, Alex Wesker's plan was to have her consciousness implanted into the perfect host, which in Resident Evil Revelations 2, this perfect candidate would be a young girl by the name of Natalia Korda, a young girl who suffered through a traumatic event earlier in her life, which has resulted in her not being able to feel fear. So with Natalia in place, all Alex had to do was to capture Natalia and bring her to a facility where she would transfer her consciousness inside the young girl. Though this whole process would take more than 6 months to achieve, Alex was satisfied with her achievement, finally being able to cheat death in her own way, and would later wake up in another host imbued with extraordinary capabilities due to the T. phobos virus. So in Revelations 2, we would later finally meet Alex Wesker face to face, with her supposed last moments would have her take her own life right in front of Claire Redfield.
You came all this way just to say goodbye? Oh, I'm touched. It's already done. I've conquered fear and earned the right to become a god.
from behind that glass so I can choke a god.
All that remains is one final test. One last threshold to cross.
Is she even listening to us?
My brother's escape was death. And soon, it will be mine as well. I will share in his fate, and then I will surpass him.
What are you trying to do?
Escape.
But all did not go as according to plan, because instead of dying, Alex instead lived through her own suicide, and to her astonishment, it was the T phobos virus inside her that caused it, because sometime during this timeline, she would infect herself with the virus, and in doing so would keep her alive. But consequently later on, this benefit would backfire, because right before she pulls the trigger to kill herself, Alex Wesker would experience fear at the last second, causing her body to mutate due to the T phobos virus inside of her. The outcome of this would have her becoming this mutated and disfigured individual who still retained her intelligence but would now live in turmoil due to her own actions. Because remember earlier, Alex Wesker already implanted her digitized consciousness within Natalia, and the young host also already was inoculated with the T phobos virus, and this process would last 6 months. Well, during this time, the disfigured original Alex Wesker would now deem this new Alex Wesker, which was Natalia implanted with her consciousness, a fake. Which is understandable to think, because imagining having two versions of yourself, with one being perfect and the other left mutated and barely clinging to her sanity.
Holy fuck! You can't have her, she Wesker!
Which in Resident Evil Revelations 2, we see this unfold, because by the end of the game, the original Alex Wesker would now fully mutate, while Natalia at this point has shown little indication of Alex Wesker's implanted consciousness of taking over her body. Well, at least by the end of the game's ending, where we see two different scenarios, which in the end confirms that the digitized copy of Alex Wesker within Natalia has finally taken over.
A cage went in search of a bird, but now the bird is gone. The bird has changed.
But where does this all lead up to now? Because with the cliffhanger that we got by the end of the game, one can only speculate on what happens next for Alex Wesker, with some theories speculating that she will have a role in the upcoming Resident Evil Village, but this time around, she would inhabit the mind of Lady Alicina Dimitrescu, the vampire lady that we've seen in Resident Evil Village trailers, gameplays, and demo. But this is all theories and speculations, and I suspect that we will see Natalia when she is much older and keeping the innocent facade of being normal but hiding her true personality of Alex Wesker in the background, waiting for the right time to initiate her goal of becoming the god of this new world. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and what did you guys think about Alex Wesker and her mind transplant into Natalia? And what kind of future will we see with this new version of Alex Wesker? Please let me know your thoughts on the comment section down below. Anyways, again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, you guys have a great rest of your day, and this is Hey DeVuH, and I'll see you guys on the next video.